Now that we have this beautiful outline, we're gonna go in the inside of these lines. We're gonna start microblading about the first half of this brow, and then we're gonna pull some microblading throughout the back, and then we're gonna start a nice powdery, hyper-realistic effect. Okay, we're gonna go with a nice pickly effect, and I'll teach you how to do that. So again, tiny bit on the blade, and we're gonna start just at the bulb of this brow. So you kind of see it bounce. Perfect. I'm doing a three-way stretch the whole way. So I'm coming up on an angle, finishing it off. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. And feeling it a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to go with the same direction as the growth of her hair. So we're just going to come down. We're going to meet that seam. Notice how I'm just pulling my blade back. I'm not pushing. I'm just feeling that bounce on the skin, touching, and then I'm just pulling back. I'm just rotating. All my blades are hitting the skin at the same time. I'm not hitting my tip. I'm not hitting my butt. It's not to the left. It's not to the right. It's just 90 degrees. Nice. Again, we don't want our strokes to be really close together. We just want to create our skeleton pass so that we know where to go when we start our blading. So here we have it, our beautiful skeleton pass. A little bit of that surface blood coming to the surface, but nothing too crazy. We know we're hitting our sweet spot. So again, what we're going to do is we're just going to mask this brow. And get it ready for that powder. The blade I'm using is a 14.20, okay? She has really nice brow hair throughout. It's not too coarse, it's pretty thin, so we're gonna let this mask while we hit up the other side. So I'm just gonna turn her head around this way. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm just gonna start the other side.
Okay.
Same thing here. Had a little bit too much on my blade there. That's okay. You're just going nice and slow, creating those hair strokes. Doing our most beautiful skeleton pass here. around, getting myself in a position that I know will get me a 90-degree angle on my blade each time. Okay? Still stretching the skin. Beautiful. So I'm going to scooch myself around again. I'm getting myself into a position that I know I need to get to in order to create that brow. Again, we're just doing that skeleton pass. We're not filling the brow in too much. Okay. Beautiful. Again, that is our skeleton pass. That's all we want to see until we mask. So we're going to mask this brow here, and we're going to move on to our powder shading now, right after we're done numbing. So sometimes, you guys, when this side gets a little bit too dry, all you have to do is just dip your swab in some pigment and just run it back and forth. Okay, that's going to loosen up that pigment again, and you're going to be able to take it off with no problem. So just rub it through, and it's already starting to loosen up quite a bit, and so that you don't have to take your cloth and like rub the skin really hard. All right, now what we're going to do is we're just going to take off this pigment mask. Beautiful. I love this pigment selection that we chose. It's matching her brows beautifully. It's very seamless. We have an amazing stroke pattern here. So if we kind of pull here, you can see we have those strokes. And that's easy for us to follow that skeleton, okay? And that would just be microblading alone. But now we're just gonna numb her up and her ready for the powder. So again, this is just going to sting your client a little bit. This is our secondary numbing. This is what makes that white halo, and this is what's going to get your client very comfortable. Again, this is your blue gels, your Tag 45s, your tattoo soothes. This is your 5% lidocaine. This goes directly into those cuts, and your client will be much more comfortable when they're about to start. Okay, see that it's dry. If you go like this, it's really hard to get off, right? So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip it in some pigment here. Just kind of move it around. And then I'm going to be able to take it off really nice and easy. There we go. Tricks of the trade. So again, we should have a really nice, beautiful outline with our skeleton pass. This way we totally know where to go when we're starting our shading. I'm going to numb up this side. And you can set up your client at this point and just double check everything's where you want it to be. Double check your measurements, make sure everything's where it should be, because you don't want to start your shading until we've done that. So all right, we're just gonna let that sit for about 2 minutes.